Good morning, leaders of the future.
Morning.
I salute you. I bow to you. I feel more safe after listening to your presentations. I was planning to retire in 10 years. Now I've reduced it to the next 7 years. Because I feel safer now when you guys are going to be back in Thailand and leading the different businesses and the country itself. My name is Nadim, Xavier Salhani, and actually I've been in Thailand for the last 37 years. I came as a young student. I was born in Lebanon, and we had the civil war in '74, and my mother decided that I should leave, and the reason why I came to Thailand because my father was here. And I'm French educated, and Thailand used to be a French colony. I'm sorry, Lebanon. This is a very sensitive issue here. I came to see my dad in the understanding that I was going to go to France to continue my studies. I have some relatives in France, and until today they are still waiting for me. I've never made it to France. So Thailand has been really a great place to be, and I'm thankful for that. The last 16 years of my life were all about defining, launching, and building brands in Thailand. I was in the hotel business for 20 years. And one day a friend of mine came in the last hotel where I was in Krabi province. I was managing a very posh hotel over there. And they told me, we are going to bring Starbucks in Thailand and we're looking for a general manager, and would you be interested? And I didn't know anything about Starbucks. What's Starbucks? That was the beginning. And they told me it's a sort of a coffee shop. And you know, in Thailand, when somebody tells you, come and manage a coffee shop, it's like, okay. I did some studies, and I figured, why not? You know, I didn't know that it was going to be a very successful and famous company in the world. So it was a very rewarding experience. But managing brands, managing a retail business is very different from a hotel, and it has its reward. But I learned, in the last 16 years, I learned something about 6 positioning elements. And these elements, you can manage a business, you can manage a country, you can manage yourself. You know. And I'm going to talk a little bit about these positioning elements. And you've got, very clearly, you've got targets, so you really need to understand your customer demographics. As in a business, as in a country, you need to understand your people. The needs as well, the needs of your customers or the people in your country. Competitive framework, meaning why would your customers choose your brand over your competitors' brands? And this is very emotional. And the same could be applied to yourself and to the country as well. Benefit, and this is the most meaningful promise that any brand can and want to own in the mind of its target market. And the reason why. Why should we use this product, or why should we be here in this country? You know, and sometimes you can have endorsement from successful people, well-known people. Most importantly, I'm very proud that I was able to make a difference. You may not be able to change the world, but you can make a difference. That is for sure. I've had the wonderful fortune of traveling around, working around the country, visiting a lot of countries. And there's one thing that I have known, that I have come to know, is that we are all fundamentally the same. We want the same things. We want to earn a good living, we want to enjoy our work, stay healthy, have a happy family life, enjoy meaningful friendship, and ultimately, we want to make a difference in some way. These are the different companies that I've worked for. And you can see with the hotel, with Hyatt, Holiday Inn, Sheraton, Dusit, even I worked in this hotel. In 1985, I was assistant food and beverage in this hotel that I'm standing here. Also, throughout my career, and it took me 30 years to build this, I've built what I call a core value, which you may be familiar with. And I've brought these core values to the company that I work with today. These core values are very important to the people in my company and to myself. And they are about passion, that I'm very passionate about my religion, my country, my family, my company, and the people that I work with. I encourage and promote respect and dignity at every level of people that I meet in my life. I want to be the best in what I do. I definitely want to celebrate success and recognize my own reward and my achievement and the ones of my family and my work team as well. And accountability, the most important, is that I have to accept my responsibility and meet my commitments. Something which is a bit lacking here in Thailand. My mission in life, it's very simple. I aspire to inspire before I expire. And my guiding principle is to be responsible, provide leadership, and have integrity. Business leaders cannot be bystanders. They have to get involved whatsoever. Let me show you a little bit the path of my career. What I enjoyed the most and what I encourage all of you to do is internships. In 77 and 78, I was 17 years old. I was born in 1960. I had the opportunity to work in the Hyatt Bangkok as a front desk internship, and in 1978 at the Oriental Hotel Bangkok as an engineer. Why engineer? Because my father had a laundry business and he wanted me to go and learn all about the mechanics of a laundry so I can help him in his business. And you know, the old generation of parents are a little bit funny because they try to control your life. I've learned a lot how not to do this with my children, you know. Let them decide what they want to do. But you can throughout my career, I've worked in laundry, I've been a club manager, but I settled in food and beverage because this is something that I love. Food and beverage, food, entertainment, and until the day that I left the hotel business and I joined Starbucks. And you can see Starbucks was a very rewarding experience because they are very good at what they do. And they control very well the business worldwide. I had the opportunity to work in Seattle for 3 months at Starbucks, in the shops. And what I appreciate the most is meeting with different people. You know, the job is not difficult to do, and you will find this. I mean, you will learn, you are the elites of your schools, and it's not difficult to do the job itself. The most difficult part is to deal with people, communicate with people, with customers. This is the most difficult part, the most challenging part of your career and of your life, you know, dealing with people. Until today, I find this very challenging. And I've learned so much about people, and you still keep on learning on and on. Now, when I was with Starbucks, and I was there for 6 years, and there's this company, the Royal Food Group, they asked me to join them, and they were on the verge of bankruptcy. And I decided to go. And my wife freaked out. Why do you want to leave Starbucks? You have a great job. It's a great company. Everybody respects you. You know, I can show off with my friends that my husband works at Starbucks. You know, I can have coffee at a discounted price. Why do you want to go and work for this company which is on the verge of bankruptcy? But I told her, you know, I don't find it any more challenging because I work in a company that is great, but doesn't allow me to be creative or innovative. They tell you what to do. You follow. That's the way it is, right? But I had the opportunity to take on a big challenge, to turn around, to make a difference. Not to myself and to the owners of the company, but to the people as well that works in that company. Because when I went to visit the office, and I saw these people, they have been working there for like 10, 15 years. Why are they still working there? They don't know if they're going to receive their salaries at the end of the month, but they are still there. So I was very intrigued, and I wanted to be there, and I joined it. And it was very rewarding because we were able to do the turnaround, and we were able to sell the company afterwards at a very high amount of money. We had new owners. Today we have the third generation of owners that owns the company, and it's doing really well. I want to touch upon something about the leaders of the future. A lot of things are changing in this world, changing very fast. And if I continue doing business the same way we have been doing it for the last 5 or 10 years, I think I'm going to fail eventually. A lot of things are changing. Leaders must start doing things differently, very, very differently right now. And just want to talk a little bit about the 6 megatrends to be aware of. Globalization isn't what it used to be. It has become something a whole lot more complex and unpredictable. The global business world is getting riskier, but there is no doubt that Asia will dominate. A warming world is not a comfortable place. Businesses are being pressured more and more between the need to shrink eco-footprints and cut the use of scarce resources. Business must become sustainable to survive. While in industrial nations, populations are aging and stagnating, they are booming in the developed world. The result is migration, skill shortages, and an intensifying war for talent. Big problem, finding talent to come and work for you. So things have to be, leaders have to think differently now to motivate people to stay. Today people expect more freedom and choice. Career is an important part, it's an important part of their quest for self-expression, but their loyalty is more likely to be directed toward social network than employer. Technology is tilting the balance of power towards employees, always on. People can work anywhere and form large, powerful personal and business networks. The same digital trends are also turning customers into partners. My son is 23 years old, my oldest son. He graduated from Thammasat University, the international program, computer science, and he wants to do his MBA in the US. The US does not accept anyone without at least a 2 years experience, working experience. They will not accept you. In Thailand, it does not exist. They will accept you right away. I think it's very smart to do an internship or to work in a company before you go and do an MBA, because you see the world differently. So my son worked at Au Bon Pain. I put him at Au Bon Pain for 3 months. He was working behind the counter, making sandwiches and all that. And then he went, which was a great experience. And then he went to Disney World. He worked there for 3 months, looking after wheelchairs, and I don't know. He was doing the little jobs, that actually he gets a lot of tips. And he worked for a company here in Thailand as a programmer. He needed 2 years experience. His salary is 20,000 baht. After tax, 18. Teenager today, 18,000 baht, forget it, it's not enough. I need more, So that company, I think, is very smart, because they know they need talented people like my son. He seemed to have a special skill to program. He programmed games, and they need him to stay with the company. But they allow him as well to take freelance work, which other companies would not. And when he takes a freelance job, it brings him income of about 500,000 baht. And he has a specific commitment, a timeline. But the company he works for asks him to do within the specific timeline, we need that job, but it's okay to do a job outside. So he's got a group of friends, and whenever he gets a job outside, they divide, the work, they do it on time, and they make much more money than working in the company. But he stays in the company because he needs to have a status working for that specific company. Companies like this are very smart. Lastly, technology convergence. Today, 4 tech areas are convergent fast, promising the sharpest technology shifts in history. Nano, bio, information and cognitive technologies, are already transforming areas like medicine, energy, and production. Let's look at Thailand outlook. The Thai economy is entering a transition phase in its macroeconomy. This change has been clearly evident in 2013, fueled by an increase in the minimum wage, very low unemployment. Believe it or not, Thailand has only 0.8% unemployment. A change in world consumption towards higher technology goods and still low productivity. Growth of just 1% in export is projected actually this year. Domestic consumption has slowed as consumers grow concerned about their household debt. Business has been really down. Everybody's feeling it this year. You know, and people are scared. They owe a lot of money. After the increase in wages, everybody thought they were rich. They went to buy condos, they went to buy a car, and then they didn't realize that prices were going up in the market, raw materials going up, everything is going up. At the end of the day, when the government make a decision that wages are going to go up, who's going to lose? The consumer itself. Because businesses that watches their profit drops down, eventually they're going to increase their prices. And the people who are going to suffer are going to be the consumer. The government has announced a series of measures that should help combat some of the negative effect on the economy. Already the corporate tax rate has reduced to 20%, which most probably is going to attract more foreign investment in Thailand, which is a great idea. Used to be 30%, now it's 20%. Some important changes to manufacturing privileges, moving away from labor-driven manufacturing towards more higher value goods in production. Massive infrastructure spending plans of around $64 billion to be invested before 2020. These changes will assist to drive growth. However, will take time for their full effect to impact the economy. 2013 has been a very tough year for businesses. GDP has been revised 3 times this year. And I don't believe they're going to achieve the latest revision by the Bank of Thailand. The good news, the worldwide economy continues to recover, which should be a good sign for Thailand's manufacturing sector. Thailand's tourism sector continues to be strong, provided political stability is maintained. There should be an increasing trade freedom brought about by new major trade agreements like the AEC in 2015 and the Thailand-EU agreement. The infrastructure mega project and focus on inter-regional connectivity is extremely important and positive to Thailand. Now is the time to focus on preparing for the AEC. Thailand has to invest in its infrastructure in order to prepare for both the opportunities and the challenges that is coming ahead. Challenges, yes, they are. Bureaucracy remains a major concern. Regulations and red tape are ever ongoing. The Food and Drug Administration of Thailand is an absolute nightmare. I bring ice cream from the US, and we have to get the approval for every variety, every flavor. We have to get the Food and Drug Administration approval, and they ask documents. It's like yellow pages in the old days. It used to be like a really thick book like that, and you have to provide all these information for every flavor. So it's a nightmare receiving approvals for product to import or to bring into Thailand. Infrastructure concerns are more pressing for Thai businesses compared with the ASEAN peers. Poor quality transport and IT infrastructure. Today we heard a lot about transportation. You guys realize that this is a problem. But also the IT infrastructure in Thailand is a big problem. Continued low productivity. The government has increased the minimum wage, but the productivity remained the same. So this is not really helping our businesses. shifts in Western consumer purchasing towards higher value goods, which Thailand produces less of. Slow domestic consumption. We talked about that earlier. Consumers are concerned about their household debts. Volatile political stability and unemployment of 0.8% and continued wage inflation. Thailand's workforce is rapidly becoming less competitive. Another big problem, and I think you agree with me because I've heard a lot today about the education system. Thailand's education system requires significant reform as it has not changed in line with more modern teaching methods. This means that the resultant product of the education system is not well suited to the demand of the modern workforce requiring productivity and multitasking. The tablet project for all the school children certainly is an interesting experiment to attempt to modernize the system. However, it suffers from a lack of direction, content, and teacher training. Talent shortage, one of the biggest problems that I have in my business. The World Bank recently reported that a lack of skilled labor has become the biggest obstruction to doing business in Thailand. While the Ministry of Labor said that demands for workers exceed supply for the first time in 2013, the government estimates that 300,000 people are unemployed, which again is less than 1% of the labor force. As a result, these skills shortages, average wage rose by around 50% in the last decade. Traditionally, Thailand doesn't need much migrant workers from neighbors such as Myanmar, Cambodia, and Laos, but this is going to change in the future. A review migration policy and incentives and improvements to the education system will be needed to ensure that Thailand continues to offer the right people to support its development. So, what does this mean for all of you? Lots of opportunities, guys. Lots and lots of opportunities to improve things in Thailand. About the AEC, there are exciting and ambitious goals, which will no doubt have significant short, medium, and long-term economic implications on Thailand and the rest of the Asian country. There will be perceived winners and losers. Among the major winners from Thailand's participation under the AEC should be the Thai consumer. Thailand should be a winner when it comes to listed companies and other large Thailand companies looking to find new markets for their products and services throughout the region. The removal of the trade barriers as required by the AEC should open up interesting opportunities for Thai companies looking to expand their customer base and diversify their businesses. SMEs, small and medium enterprise, they may feel threatened because more foreign competition is going to come in Thailand. Also, the Thai government will be required to make a series of legal changes in order to make Thailand investment law consistent with the AEC obligations. So one of the challenges is going to be labor. The ASEAN Economic Community will encourage a labor migration from neighboring countries to Thailand. Particularly, I can see Indonesia and Philippines because it's more attractive to come in Thailand. Thailand offers 12 to 15,000 baht, while in their countries it's only 6,000 to 8,000 baht. At the same time, the well-educated Thais will seek opportunities in Singapore. So, Thailand tourism services and related operators should develop service quality and English skills needed to be improved dramatically. So, in conclusion, I just want you to, dream the dream that I did. I've been very fortunate throughout the years in Thailand and my traveling all around the world. But know that it's only you who will get you where you want to go. no one else. Challenges are, it's just absolutely fantastic because you learn so much with the different challenges that you see throughout your life, and as you are overcoming them, it will make life even meaningful, very, very meaningful. So thank you very much for listening to me.